thing is. Yeah, I'll share it later. Hi everybody. So you guys can't see this on the camera, but there's a whole room of how many people do I have? 14 people plus more visitors. I'm Debbie. I'm live streaming my future presentation at BNI Business Class. So if you're here joining in live or joining in the room, welcome. Thanks for having me. Basically, Prince, you're so nice in your intro. Thank you. A lot of fancy words in there, and to be fair, AI helped me with coming up with that bio, because sometimes you don't know what you know about yourself, right? So literally, I just took my CV and I put it into ChatGPT and I said, hey, I need a bio. And literally, that's the tools that we have in our disposal, right? And we can, this rich presentation is not on AI, but it's on digital mainly. But the reason why I wanted to come in here is last time I talked through this and I talked through my journey. I'm not going to concentrate so much on my journey, but I'm going to concentrate more on marketing strategy this time, because I want you guys to get some value out of my presentation, and hopefully you can take something and implement it into your business. But just quickly, my journey. I like to talk about my journey in photos. This is me in the beginning with my 6-week-old Christopher in the couch, uploading to my social media, right? All I did was start with my phone. Started with my phone, shot whatever I was making at the time, and I didn't think too much about it, just uploaded it, right? Actually, if I look back now, it wasn't very good, but it was sharing my journey, and that's the entire point of social media, right? Fast forward, I was happy with my one order, and you can see that Christopher's grown because he's now on my back. See that backpack thing I'm wearing? Yeah, he's heavier, so it's on my back. Moving forward, one order turned into many orders turned into a storage unit because I outgrew a garage, and my husband was getting a bit angry because of all the stock. Storage unit moved into 3PL, so 3PL is a warehousing company. They take the stock, and I have to almost relinquish control over it because they have access to my store, which is a huge security issue and all that. They see all my customer data, they see all of it. It goes through to the factory, they pick and pack it, and it goes. Which was great in theory, but it wasn't great for me because I realized like a lot of my customers are rural and the sizing of my orders is completely different. Anyway, long story short, moved out to 3PL, right? Moved out to 3PL, found myself at ABC News as a spokesperson for small business. What happened was Optus outage. I couldn't keep my mouth shut, so I basically called out Optus and I said, hey, you guys need to fix this. Because that was at the time when my container was at the port, I couldn't contact my community, my entire community was online, couldn't tell them that my container was stuck in the port. So we had all these messages saying, where's my order, and I couldn't contact them. All because of this Optus outage. Luckily, I commandeered a phone, and I was able to upload it, it was fine. But if I didn't have that redundancy in, like, it's an issue. That Optus thing happened, and that photo is of me in China. So I met with a crafting brand, and this is their chief quality assurance team. I essentially was I was the first person in the entire world to be at their factory. It's the first person that they let in. Thanks, yeah. All because I grew a community, right? All I did was grow my community and tell them about my journey, and tell them that, hey, I want to, I'd love to work with you guys on X, Y, Z. It ended up being a podcast, it ended up being video content. I'm going to be a live stream global ambassador for them now, just because I was there talking to them about the community and the relationships that I have with my community. So yes, sorry, next. Okay, but I wanted to get into a little bit of marketing strategy, right? So people, and I talked about Simon Sinek and the why a couple weeks ago in the other but people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, right? My crafting items, you can go on Temu, Amazon, you can buy the same items. They're not going to be the same quality, and they're not going to be made for crafters, right? So you might have some issue with, a technique, or, say for example, you're personalizing something and something falls off, right? You're going to have that issue because I've gone and met with the supplier and changed the item so that it's right for a crafter, right? But what is the difference between my product and the Amazon product is because I've shared that journey along the way. Everyone in my community knows I went to China, knows I met with the brand, knows that all the issues that I'm having from 3PL, all of that, everyone knows my story, right? So they know, and they also know my kids' names. And like someone messaged me saying, hey, happy anniversary, and I forgot it was my anniversary. But, it's a bit weird like that, right? It's a bit weird in that it's a little bit of TMI, a little bit of oversharing, right? But it's also really nice because they're my friends, right? And they're my community. And they want to support me. It's not just my brand, it's they want to support me, So it's really important that your why is all throughout all of your marketing. And marketing, I see it as a fancy way of saying your communication and how you talk to people, which we do every week, right? We do every week when we try to build relationships with people. So I want to talk about a little bit about selling without selling, right? So as I mentioned to you guys, you can buy, honestly, you can buy the same items from any other craft line supplier or any eBay, Amazon, all of that, right? The difference is my journey. So a little bit of strategy here, people want to hear from people and they want to hear less product. They don't want to be sold to, right? So then that is why I'm selling my journey. You know that, I was late for my flight and I had to pay overpaid baggage and all of that, right? Because you're on with my journey. But you also know that I've gone to China to find new items and to bring that back to my community, right? Then it doesn't matter what I'm trying to sell you, right? See that? It's the difference. The latest stats say that there's multiple touch points before anybody's in any kind of buying situation. 22 touch points is the latest stats, and that changes all the time. That means from when someone enters your ecosystem, I call it, when someone enters your ecosystem, there are 22 touch points before they come into a buying situation. As in, not when they call you for a quote or go to your store to buy something, it's you're in their realm, you're a consideration, right? 22. So are you going to sit and have coffee and one-to-ones with 22 times with that one person? No, we don't have time for that, right? So we need to use digital and social to do some of that heavy lifting for you. Yeah. Yes. So that leads me to my next point. Done is better than perfect, right? So I would love to get my Dyson Airwrap every morning and do my hair and wear a nice dress. It's not going to happen, right? I'm not going to do that to get on stories, for example. But I also know that my average reach on my one of my organic reels is 1,000 views, right? 1,000 views because I built up my community that way. That means if I don't get on stories, that's 1,000 people that might be at the 21st touch point about to buy that won't hear from me. Then they'll start again, right? So then you best believe I'm on stories with my messy hair and my pajamas and my kids hanging off me and all that, because I know that is going to be perfect. Get on there, right? It's about a cadence and it's about increasing the frequency of how often you do it. So the perfect example that I like to talk about is the used car salesman, right? When you walk into the lot, right, he will sell you, she will sell you on the car. So he'll tell you, this is the best car for your budget, it's got leather seats, I don't know, what's it with you about car? Red is so hot right now, I don't know, but there's only one left, or I sold 5 last weekend, right? He's selling you on the product, on the features and benefits of the car, or the truck, or whatever it is that you're buying, right? Meanwhile, you probably glazed it up. You've probably already done your research, you already know what's good about that car, right? But then if he tells you, hey, did you know that this particular car was made in Japan, and they have 150 safety checks, and there was a documentary on the other weekend about this process, and see, it's a story. Yeah, it's a story. So then, he might say something like, hey, there's this one part that's integral to the car that you can only get it in the south of France, and then you have to take 3 planes to get there, or whatever, right? It's a story. And it's talking he didn't mention the car. He could sell you any car. It's not the car, it's a story. Okay? Sorry. Old school marketing looks like this, right? And old school marketing is very linear, right? So you see an ad, you land on the website or whatever your point of sale is, people walk into the store, etc. It equates into a sale. So next slide. Old school marketing is like a newspaper, right? Say for example, you take out one tiny line in the classifieds ad, and all of a sudden, okay, that might cost you, I don't know, what is that, $100, whatever, right? And you get one call, and you're like, oh, okay, great, it works, right? You get one call, and then you sold your item, right? So then the next natural progression is, okay, if that one line worked, I can go bigger. Half page, quarter page, whatever, right? The newspaper ad. People are applying this type of thinking into marketing today. So no longer is it about volume or is it about broadcast, it is about, next slide, this, which is the ecosystem, right? I call this lily pads, right? So each of these circles is a lily pad, and this is my live ecosystem. So your ecosystem might be skinnier than this, you might have less lily pads, and that's okay, right? Don't expect it perfect. It's more about getting it up there, right? My live ecosystem is someone finds me from social media, they'll probably watch one of my videos or me in my pajamas or stories, whatever. They'll come into my ecosystem via social, they jump to my website, they won't buy anything, they just browse. They browse something, they come back into social because my ads will get them because I know that they've landed on my website. Then, for example, they jump between all of these 22 times before they claim to the same. Yeah? So what I'm going to leave you guys with is look at your ecosystem. What is your ecosystem? What are the different touch points that you have that don't involve you? Right? Doesn't involve me to be on each one of these every time. I'm not updating my website every day. Yes, I'm on social every day, I have to be. But with a podcast, for example, I record it, I batch create it, and I upload it, and then it's there. It's on autopilot, right? So what is it that you can do to beef up your ecosystem so that wherever someone lands, you're nurturing them to the middle, which is ultimately what you want to say. But remembering that